All right. Happy Monday, everybody. My name is Brad Miller. I'm a certified health coach, and I get to be one of the coaches that speak on this call. This is our health huddle. We do it every Monday to kick off the week. Helps me stay focused, helps you stay focused. We all learn from each other. It's a win-win. We've had some really good topics the last few weeks, and if you're brand new, we want to welcome you and look around, start to realize like this is a whole crew of people that have, I want to just kind of give light to this. If you look around this Zoom, there are just these amazing health transformations that you probably don't even know like how incredible they are. Like we literally probably like crush in the coolness level of Biggest Loser over their entire seasons just here alone. And this is just a fraction of us. Speaking of that, hello to everyone that's catching the recording. There's a lot of people that catch this recording as well. But we do this every single week just to kick off, because our health is always growing. There's always something new to focus on. We're always learning. And in the game of our health journeys, there's something always that we're, taking on this next week. It's never the same every single week. And kind of like what my dad always says, health is like the laundry. It's never done. There's always something to be going, something to be focusing on, something to be growing through. I mean, that's not really an analogy for laundry at the last part there, but we're always in a different place every single time. So before I kick off here, I'd love to hear like who had some like awesome victories this week, who had something they were really proud of, scale, non-scale, or something they learned, or something they're finally feeling like they're doing really well that they want to share with the crew tonight. Go ahead and take yourself off mute and share away. We'll do a couple of them right before we get started. Everyone always you're always like, who's going to be the first person?
I'll go, Brad.
There we go.
I'm
Go ahead.
super excited. It's Amber.
Hey, Amber.
I finished my first half marathon yesterday. So that was a pretty exciting accomplishment. And honestly, the best thing was doing it because I thoroughly had set a goal and worked towards it. And as an exercise addict, not because I had ate a bunch of bad foods. Like I got to do it for pleasure and not kind of as a punishment because of my bad eating habits. So super freeing. So yeah, that was awesome.
Quick question for you, because tonight's whole topic is going to be about real talk, and I'm going to share some thoughts and ask for some other real takeaways from people at the end of the call. You were an exercise fanatic before. It's how you lost your weight after your first few kids, and then the body wasn't the same after the last couple. You're exercising for a totally different reason now. So now that you've lost your weight years ago, because you're going on 4+ years since you've lost your weight, explain to some people on the line here, like, how did you come on to doing a half marathon after this many years of continually being healthy and keeping your weight off and just continue? How did you choose to do that? Like, because that's, people don't just say, hey, I want to do a half marathon. How did you decide to do that?
I guess I always kind of like the idea of a race. I'm competitive by nature, but because I do love exercise, this is really me being vulnerable. I never wanted to sign up for anything just because I felt like I had these expectations put on me. And then I had a friend that was doing some running and training for one, and it was a new friend that I had started to get to know. And I was just like, well, I would run with you. I'm always looking to kind of get into running, but a mile max and I'm bored, And so I started working with her, and I just said, I'll hang out as long as I can, and then I'm out. When you get up to those long runs, I'm good. Well, again, competitive, and I'd be like, what do you got to do today? And she's like, 8 miles, 9 miles. And I was like, I'll do it. And then it was just if you're doing the work, why not do the race? Amber, you've been training and working hard, just commit to something to work harder. And so that was honestly it. I was just you're doing the work, just sign up for the race. So we found another one, and it was empowering. It was a neat day. Neat to see my kids there with signs, and 2 of my older boys are into running, and it's kind of created a new love for our family to do together.
That's super awesome, Amber. Congratulations. Yeah, why not just do it? You're doing all the preparation and to have that huge accomplishment. So I'm sure you learned something through this last season of training for half marathon. I mean, you got the healthy eating down. There's always something new you explore. So congratulations. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's do one more before we pop in tonight. Who's got something else that they've done this last little bit? I know you guys are all proud of something that you're doing. What do you guys want to pat yourself on the back for this week?
I'll talk.
Go for it. What's up, Delyn? Go for it.
I did my first live video.
You did?
Yes.
All right. Tell us about that, because some people might be like, well, that doesn't have anything to do with health, but it totally does. Tell us about how that's a huge victory for you.
Well, the last on the was it the Optimal Health Day? I don't know, last time that we were on the Zoom and Terry, your mom, talked to me, and I just felt so inspired that I really wanted to go and do this video, and because of my healthy mind. This has really helped my mind, for my brain to get all the nutrients that it was lacking, not eating right, eating maybe once or twice a day, and having my brain injury. I was starving myself basically, and by getting the nutrients and everything, my brain fog and all that stuff, and my depression and my stress didn't change, but the way I changed to be able to deal with my stress was totally different. So
That's huge, Dylan. So you felt bold enough to share on Facebook, and go live. Like, oh my gosh, like these are the things that kind of happen. We bust outside our comfort zones a little bit. And for those that don't know, like I'll just kind of recap your story real quick. Dylan has an amazing health story. Not only health-wise, you've lost. How much weight have you lost combined now in total?
54 pounds.
54 pounds, and there's not much of you vertical-wise. How tall are you?
I claim 5 foot.
Standing on your tippy toes, but that's just the start of what's changed for you. Your clarity has gotten better. This has been a avenue for you to really just take different leaps and bounds, and just like you were saying right now, being more bold and being more outgoing, but also how you take on stress of life. So that is a huge victory. I know going live was a huge signal of what you've accomplished in all of your health. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for sharing. And I'll brag on one more person real quick, and maybe she'll give us some tips at the end of the call. But Dana hit the 100-pound mark. So everyone give Dana a big round of applause. Super awesome. Well, I'll call on you at the end of the call here. So maybe you can share something with the group and anyone else that wants to share as well. But today, I kind of had a simple idea of a topic. It's not going to be very long, and I'm actually just going to be kind of unplugged tonight. We've had some really great topics the last little bit about, how to set up a structure and, how to get back into routine. And here, I got to meet someone real quick. We've also talked about how to be you focused versus food focused. All of these great things that we've covered over the last few weeks. And I'm kind of going to take it one more step on some of this, because some of you guys are new. Some of you guys have been on plan for a little bit here. Some of you guys have been, moved well past your initial, weight loss goal. And, some people are like, oh, that's when I'm done. But really, that's not what we're doing here. So as we start this week, and hopefully this will be something that we can kind of take to give to people as they're getting started to kind of shift them. People are constantly asking, all right, they hit this wall. Well, why can't I bust through it? Or, I'm having trouble with this. What can I do? Or, why can't I want to be just like all these other people? I want to be like Christy, who's lost 100 pounds, or Denise, who is like she doesn't even use her wheelchair anymore. I want to be like Amber and run a marathon. or half marathon, maybe a marathon next. You never know. I just set a new goal for you. How do people do this? Like, it seems so impossible, but there are some really key things that we do here. So this might be helpful for someone down the line. It may be a prerequisite for someone who here is new. But I want to give you guys some thoughts here tonight. And maybe even people like me who are 7 years into their health journey. This stuff is stuff I'm constantly reminding myself about, because it really is about the basics. So in no particular order, and I'd love anyone who wants to come in and kind of share anything at the end, share on this. But I want to start with just a few different things. And one is that, first of all, and I think this has got to be the first important one of all of it, right now, and I hope you guys are all paying attention, are you guys in right now? And I think that's something to really know about yourself. One of the best calls I think that was recently, and I just may be partial to, was my wife Ashley talked about seasons and versus habits, having clarity and having focus. And I think being in on your health is something that's a two-part. One, are you in on this? Because if you toe dip or you go partial or you kind of do something, you will always get kind of result, part results, or toe dipping results. So, are you pulling out all the stops? Because anything you do, guys, please, and this is just something in life, do it well. So just another thought process. If you've been on plan for a while, or you're just starting, or you're a few weeks in, lean into everything you can do with this. Are you all in? Have you really moved into, like, I'm not just doing this food that I ordered, I'm really doing all aspects of this. I'm changing my lifestyle. I'm plugged into this. Guys, because here's the one thing. I told you tonight would be real talk. There are tons of weight loss products out there. There really is. Ours are among the best, and we are the well studied. But honestly, there's a bunch of different things that can help people lose weight, and there's a lot of things out there that are false advertised that you won't lose weight on. Ours is predictable transformation, but it's not our products that makes the difference. It's plugging in to people around you that want to be better. You are going to be like the 5 people that you surround yourself with. So if you do the, hey, I'll do this, but I'm not really going to plug in, or, oh, I'll try my best, but I'm just going to do it kind of part way, or just anything like that, you're going to get that kind of result. So, are you doing things like plugging into this book right here? This is a huge book for your healthy mind as you're going through this, but also understanding and really going all in on your health. Is your Facebook group, is it set to one of your favorite settings? And are you supporting people? Because another thing that makes you successful in your health, or really anything, is helping other people do that. Because now you're not just doing it for yourself and focusing on yourself, you're getting double practice by helping other people do it. Do you touch base with your health coach? I mean, have you really put all of these pillars into your routine? So I just want to start with, are you in? Because I think that's one, and there's a 2-part to that. One, are you in? And just kind of checking yourself, are you fully committed to what your goals are? Because the other thing is also realizing if you're in seasons. Ashley did this great talk about knowing if you're in season. Are you in a different season where you have to be focused on something else? And I don't just say that to say, hey, you got to be motivated or you're not going to be able to do this. It's just clarity. If you want results, go in on everything you want to do. Don't do it halfway. But if you are in a season where you can't do it totally to your full capacity, don't give up on yourself. Recognize that you may be in a season where you can't go all in. And in that case, do what you can to shore up your success on that kind of level. So I thought that was one that's really come up quite a bit. People have been asking what do I do here? And what do I do here? And part of it, I'll be honest, sometimes you're going to catch yourself this isn't a season for me. I got to focus on other things, and I got to put this in cruise control a little bit. And sometimes the reason for the hurdles, the reason why things aren't going well, is because you didn't go in from the beginning. You walked in with toe dipping. You walked in being like, oh, I hope I do well this week, but you didn't really have a plan. So I wanted to hit that one, and because really how you do one thing is how you do everything, and you'll get, you have to inspect what you expect, and what you put into something is what you get out of it. So I wanted to put that one in there. And then plugging in is huge. I already hit on that one. And here's some other things that I wanted to hit on, which is journaling. Journaling is so huge. And kind of back to the topic of going all in. Some people be like, well, I can keep track of my meals. I can do all this stuff. Journaling is a huge way to make sure that you're doing really well on plan. One, because when you journal, you kind of have to, if you raise your hand, if you've done this like me, you actually have to write it down. If you're having something that you might not want to be having or isn't part of your day, it helps create another barrier of possibly letting the world, the hiccups, the different things that come at you. It gives you another reason to have defense against that. Plus, it helps you realize what you're doing. Plus, you can journal other things like, oh, I did really good on this today that had nothing to do with eating, or I got my exercise in, or I'm focusing on sleep. It allows you to really make notes on yourself about what you're making progress in other areas. Plus, I feel like whenever I get really good into my journaling, and that's something I come back to constantly, I still work on doing that, is it helps me very clear and conscious. It makes it easy to be focused on what I'm doing because I have a plan. It was already written out from the beginning, and it makes it really easy to get focused. So for the newer people here, but also the experienced people here, you might go into a season of journaling if that's what you're focusing around. Journaling is huge. I think another one that is huge is just, have you gotten out of diet mentality? We talked about offering our, being on our full program and really making that shift. But one thing is, at the back of your mind, have you really checked out, am I dieting? Am I focused on weight loss? Am I purely doing this because I just want to lose weight? Or am I focused on eating 6 times a day for a goal? Am I fueling my body? Am I focusing on giving my body nutrition and how it feels when I give it a certain way? Because there's one thing on that too that I wanted to focus on is many of you guys are post weight loss, and some of you guys are actually to the point where you don't have much weight to lose. And what's going to happen to you after you lose weight if you don't have any more weight to lose? And you're going to, the typical way people go is if you don't focus on keeping moving forward. 85% of people that lose weight gain it back and then some within 2 years. That is a national stat. So going back to diet mentality is, are you focusing on being clear on why you're fueling yourself and having different goals and continuing to move forward? Many of you guys have probably uttered the phrase, or maybe still, are thinking this way. I know I did for a long time. It's like, oh, when I get done with 5 and 1, I'm going to go do this. Well, you don't get done with 501, or you don't transition off plan, and you don't finish up your diet. You just move into a different way of fueling for your goal. If you don't have any weight to lose, you're just going to change the way you eat 6 times a day. And your health coach in this community can help you stay focused on that. The last few things that I wanted to share about were, especially this is kind of how this one came up, was last week we talked about just being you focused versus food focused. But I told you guys tonight would be real talk. Food is a really big part of this program, and we really, really, really want you guys to be enjoying it. So my tip for you this week, and this is another thing, like I'm kind of hitting on all the different things that will and can or maybe have tripped you up at different points, is what are you doing to make sure that you are set up? Like with your food preparation, are you making sure your environment is totally clean? Many of us go into the office and we have different things there that are staring us in the face. Is that something that you can be affecting or that you're prepared for? At home, we get to be in charge generally of what comes into our house. Are you making it hard on yourself by bringing things in there that you have to say no to constantly? Because that is a really real thing that happens. So, I've had talked to so many people. I just kind of wrote down a list of all the things I've been talking with people over the last couple months. And people will be like, well, I have this in my house and it's so hard. Well, who brought it into the house? Last time I checked, you're probably the adult in the house. You get at least a half of a say of what goes into that household. What are you putting into your house that is going to make your health routine easier? And then just to the other thing, I find organizing your food, like many of you guys have pictures of, you guys have posted pictures of the shoe racks on the back of your pantry door where you have all the meals staring yourself in the face so you can constantly have all those different ideas. Or maybe you haven't checked out the different combinations of meals that you can make that just keeps it fresh and exciting, because I'm always kind of, going over my Be Slim order never looks the same because I'm always trying out different things. And at the same point of this too, and maybe you guys haven't thought about this, just other tips for success. Are you having fun and exploring your different lean and green meals? Like that is such an important thing, to have fun with it so you don't fall into a rut. But also eating healthy should be fun and simple and tasty. Like if you're cooking right, you shouldn't have to sacrifice on taste at all. And that's, again, how you're not going to get yourself into a rut. But also, I remember the first few meals I made on plan, and still this day, taco salad became my favorite meal because I started like, okay, well, I got taco salad now. No need to have like a burrito ever again or make that kind of stuff at home. So just different things like that. Do you have a food prep day? Like it took a lot of time and a lot of me fighting it to realize like I got to food prep on Sundays or else I'm really shooting myself in the foot the week. I will say that I have the best intentions, but ultimately I'll get to Tuesday and I won't have any food prepped and I'll start making not optimal decisions. And that's kind of actually how I want to finish up tonight, as I kind of just gave you guys just some things to think about right there is, you can't give up, on the real talk here. If the question was to be like, how do I be successful like all these other people here, especially as we're started out a new week together? I think the most important one out of all these things that I've talked on about, being you focused versus food focused, being in, journaling, I didn't even hit on exercise, but that will be someone we do soon. What's going on around you? Who are the people you're surrounding yourself with? I think the most important one of all is, are you that you just can't give up. That's really what it comes down to at the end of the day. You're going to have not great days. Things are going to throw you for a loop. You might get sick. You might have a really frustrating thing go on. But the difference in how you're successful is, if back to the first point, is, are you in? As long as you don't give up, you will keep moving forward. You will learn from, things that tripped you up. Things will get easier. And that's really, honestly, the thing that makes the difference long-term. Things that used to once probably trip you up, I'm looking around the call right now, you guys probably handle with ease right now. Like I'm thinking of like Lisa Stewart, who I can see, and she didn't used to like to exercise, and now I see her climbing mountains all the time. Like the Lynn sharing on the call here before at the start, like if you promise not to give up and to focus on what you're doing well, you will always succeed. And that overall, besides being in all the different tips here that I came up with tonight, is what makes the difference long term. So I know I ranted, and I know I might have been a little bit intense tonight, but these are just some things that, guys, I talk with so many people, and really when you look all around and you look all of us and you really take a quick second for yourself, we all desire to be healthier and to be our best. And these are the things that really will help you. If you're on the newer side, this will help you. And if you're on the down the road side, shore up some of these things. These are the things that I'm always personally coming back to long term. And my last tip, besides not giving up, is always set a goal. Because if you don't have a goal, you really can't get in motion towards something. So whatever it is, mini goals, I don't know, I don't care what it is, whatever gets you excited to be moving toward something. So that being said, I've ranted on all this stuff, and I see so many people here that have so much great advice to give. And maybe I'll call on the Century Club gal to share real quick. But, what are some tips that you guys, just so we kind of wrap, I'd love like one or two, like what have you guys learned on this, or things that I've gone over in real talk that really made the difference for you guys that might speak to somebody tonight? Go ahead and unmute yourself if someone wants to share. Actually, I'll call on Dana. Dana, can I call on you? Or did she disappear on me?
There, can you hear me?
There you are. Go ahead, Dana. Yeah, you're in the car. Drive safe.
Have any great tips?
Yeah, you do. You hit 100 pounds. What's the one tip? If we had to be real talk, what's the one thing that if you had to pick one, real talk here tonight?
I really think that attitude of never giving up, even if you're not perfect, even if you have a day that, looks really horrible, just jump right back in and do not give up. Do not say, oh, tomorrow I'll start over, but start over right that second, right that minute, and take your next, fueling and just move forward and keep that attitude of I'm going on purpose, I'm going forward, I'm making progress, and don't let anything get in your way. I think that's
pretty darn amazing, Dana. I love it. Yeah, never give up. That's the really good one there. And congratulations on your 100 pounds. It's truly incredible.
Thank you.
Let's do one more real talk tonight. If you had to really give one tip tonight, or you can reiterate something that I said tonight, it's totally up for grabs. Who wants to share one thing as we kind of take it home and go into a week this week?
Can I share?
Yes, please. Go for it, Leanne.
Okay, so my big turning point was to not go on a diet. That's it. Simple, sweet. Nothing is off limits. Ice cream's not off limits. I haven't had any in 2 years, but it's not off limits. I get to choose whether or not I want it. And when I quit restricting myself and saying I can't, and started saying I can, I get to, I can, I get to, I want to, then it gave me all this freedom to just be and live and learn and make friends.
Leanne, that's pretty stinking amazing. It's so true, because it is your mentality. And you kind of led into one thing I wanted to speak on earlier. So that's the best way to do it. Is focus on what you can and that you choose. Because here's the one thing is, if it was hard all the time, it would be really difficult to change our health and to make progress. And sometimes it will be. That's why we wanted to have some real talk tonight. But honestly, if you do these different things, if you go all in, if you do all the different things, if you set yourself up for success, 9 times out of 10 or more often than not, however you want to say it, health is fun, health is easy. And to quote one of my mentors and one of the person that's spoken the most into my life is really hard when you live it at half speed, but it gets abundantly easier when you live it at full speed. So do everything you want to well, be crystal clear, don't do anything halfway, and make sure you're living your life at full speed. So that is my real talk tips this week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you, Leanne and Dana, for the additional tips there. And thank you everyone that threw in some great tips in the chat. So with that being said, you guys all have a great week, and I'm going to challenge you personally. What are you doing to step up your health game this week? It doesn't always need to be going 110%. That's the real talk about health. But more often than not, we got to check ourselves and be like, I haven't pushed myself in a while. So this week, one thing, take it upon yourself. Share with your health coach. Plug it onto your group. Do all the different tips I was saying. What's one thing this week that you're going to do to push yourself a little bit more this particular week? And if you don't have anything this week because you pushed it last week, then rock on. You don't have to push it to a new level every single week. So that's what I got for you guys. Have a great week. Thanks for making all of us better, and thanks for all the additional tips, and congrats to the 100 Club with Dana. Congratulations. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, Brad.
Night, Brad. Thank you.